Hello, welcome back to another Tea Club video. My name is George and this is Obubu's office, and today we're going to be drinking some delicious Tencha. So this is the precursor to matcha and is a super tasty tea in its own right, and is often overlooked as it's not very common to find. So this has come in your Tea Club box and we're going to brew some together today. So I thought we'd start with the brewing and then we'd jump in to have a look at the harvest and the processing a little bit later after we get to taste this delicious tea first. So you will have had a few other bits. So you've got here your beautiful calendar, which please enjoy all the beautiful photos. These are all taken by Obubu staff members. Fantastic. Then we have our beautiful postcard as always. This one is, probably the most beautiful postcard I've ever seen. Photo by George Guttridge Smith. It's by me. And then we have our brewing guide and also some information about the online tea party too. So the brewing guide for Tencha is over here, and this is how you've arrived at this video, I am guessing, through using this QR code. So very handy, and you've got the Japanese version and the English version as well. So we're going to brew one of these teas today. So each one is 5 grams, so it's very handy. And we're going to use 80 degrees Celsius. And we're going to try doing for 60 seconds first, and then see how we do. And this leaf can be broken, so please don't worry about crushing any of the leaf. It's no problem at all. The smaller the particles, actually, the easier it is to get a stronger flavour. So let's move these to the side and let's start brewing some delicious tea. So first of all, we need to get some water. So let me just go and get some water, and I shall be back in a moment. I'm back. So we can brew along together. So I've got some hot water here. This is about 90 degrees when it came from the kettle. So we're going to let it cool just a little bit, and it will be about 80 degrees when we start brewing the tea. Of course, we need our handy dandy Futanashi Kyusu and Futanashi no lid Kyusu. And it's very handy. You don't have to worry about breaking it. I actually broke a lid to my teapot yesterday night. That's very sad, but sometimes it happens. But with a Futanashi Kyusu, it is legitimately not possible to break the lid because it doesn't have one. So that's very handy. So we're going to use this teapot, and I'm just going to warm it up by pouring that water into there. So let me grab another pitcher. So we're only going to use about 150 milliliters of water, and this teapot is about 290. So we're going to use just a little bit, about half. It's going to look about halfway full. But what this does mean is that we're going to be easily able to see how the leaf is doing and brewing, because we've got a big surface area to have a look at. So let's just pour 150 milliliters of water. Yeah, something about that. Okay, so this is the water we're going to use. I just pour that to the side. And right, we can open this. So we can just tear it open. And wow. It smells very sort of creamy. It's got a very creamy aroma. So the leaf is also quite fluffy, is how I would describe it. It's very light, there's no stems or veins, so it's quite fluffy. It's not gone through any rolling, so you've just got this beautiful green colour. It's very dark at the moment, but you can see a very beautiful green colour. So off the hot Kyusu you can smell some delicious aromas of the tea coming out. Smells really good. You get that umami coming out already. So let's pour the water in and let's get a timer. So we'll have our timer here, and we're only going to brew for about 60 seconds. So let's start the timer together. There we go. And make sure we try and cover all of the leaf with water. It's a bit difficult for this particular tea because it's very fluffy, so it tends to float to the surface and is almost a little bit water repellent, I'd say. So as this tea is brewing, we can start to have a look at how the colours are going to change in the kyusu as well. This dark green tends to get a little bit lighter and a more uniform colour takes over the leaf as it's brewing. And when you're using the Futonashi kyusu, you can keep a close eye on how the brew is doing. Okay, so a minute is up. So let's start pouring the tea. Now I'm going to pour slowly and we're going to pour a bit at a time. So just rocking backwards and forwards. And this helps move the leaf around so we get a more even infusion of the tea coming out. Now I'm being purposefully very gentle. I'm not using any sort of hard and sharp movements, and this means we're going to get quite a sweet flavour coming from the tea. Even the mechanics of how you pour the tea can change those flavours. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to put that there just for a moment, and let's get some cups. So we've got a couple of cups here. There we go. So in these last drops coming out now, they have the most flavour. So we want to make sure that we have those, because they're extra delicious. Okay, so we can pour into the cups now. And you can see this beautiful green colour. You have a few smaller particles in there as well, but please don't worry, that's all part of the process. And we can eat some of the tea, and it's very, very good for you. So please don't worry about eating it. So let's enjoy. Kanpai. But very sweet, very rounded, super easy to drink. Super easy to brew, a great introduction to the world of umami inside of Japanese teas. So I always recommend this one as it's an easy one to take around with you, easy one to brew, and easy to share with others. Delicious. Okay, so while we're enjoying more cups of tea, let's take a look at the harvest and then the processing. So we start off in the tea hills of Wazuka. This is Monzen. You can see the black material is the shading. This is underneath the shading now, and you can see the lovely colour of the beautiful leaves. So we use this shading material to stop the sunlight from reaching the tea leaves to increase their sweetness and umami. This is Alex, and you can also see Aina, two of our previous interns, now taking off the shading material after it's been on the tea bushes for about a month. Aki-san and his seasonal worker are harvesting the tea to make sure we get some delicious tea leaves and just the right type of material we're after for the tencha as well. This is a crazy shot where you can see all of the leaves being blown into the tea bag itself. And you can see the leaves looking very dark and luscious, and they take on this colour after the shading as there's more theanine building up inside the tea leaves and more chlorophyll as well. After we've finished the harvesting, you can see this beautiful harvest happening here in the mountains. After the harvesting, we have to take the bags off and then put the bags onto the truck, and we head off to the factory. Sometimes it's a little bit steep, so down here that's actually a cliff. So it's not recommended to go off the edge as it is a very sheer drop. But here we are now in the factory. It takes a little bit longer than that. Movie magic got us there quickly. And we unload the leaf into a large conveyor belt where the tea waits to go to the steaming machine and start the tea processing. Here we are at the steaming machine. It's quite a deep and fast steam, and it's very hot as well. Let's have a look at the leaf from the steaming. So after the leaf has been steamed, it's very pliable, and it's still whole and it's looked after. It then goes into the butterfly nets where it dries the outside of the leaf and also separates the leaves as well. It then lands into the furnace, and the furnace is a large and made of brick on the outside. Aki is demonstrating kindly how long the furnace is. And inside the furnace there are several different layers where the tea dries at different temperatures on a conveyor belt. And by the very end it drops down into another conveyor where it gets transported over for further processing. So you can see the whole leaves there, and they need to be broken down further. So that's what this machine does. This machine breaks down the leaf into smaller parts where you have the meat of the leaf and also separates out the stems. So here you can see the mixed material. The next process is wind sorting, and that separates the leaf from the stems and results in this, which is our leaf. The leaf has to go through a final drying process just to bring down the moisture content before it's ready to be packed. We also get another material, which is kukicha, these stems. So this is one version of kukicha that we use. And this is the aracha tencha, so the farmer's very big leaf, which then goes off to second processing. This is not the second processing, this is just packing the tea into the bag a little bit more thoroughly so we can fit more tencha inside. And this is the end of the tencha processing so far. It will then go off and get sorted a little bit further to take out the stems that remain, and also the veins of the leaf as well. And at that point we have reached the tea that we have just been drinking. So it's a very, very delicious tea, and you can't go wrong with brewing a delicious cup of tencha, and I hope you thoroughly have enjoyed it. What is also interesting, I find, is to drink a cup of tencha alongside the same matcha. So in your tea club box you'll find that you have tencha, which we've just brewed, but also a packet of okumidori matcha. So if you brew that along at the same time, these are in fact the same cultivar from the same field as well. So you're able to taste the same tea, but in two different forms. So please enjoy that. It is a wonderful way to experience tea with different processes and the same cultivar. So you can really taste the difference there. So this is how tencha is made. We've now reached the end, and all that is left is for you to drink and enjoy the rest of your tea club shipment. So please, when possible, share with family and friends, and I strongly believe tea is always better brewed with good friends. So have a wonderful new year and enjoy the rest of your tea club shipment, and thank you so much for your support each and every year. Arigatou gozaimasu. Bye bye.